up, everybody in the gaming world? Welcome to episode 43 of the Improv Gaming Gamescast here on youtube.com/improvgaming. As always, I'm joined with the best guys I know. To my right, he only has the best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
And he wasn't paying attention. Mr. Nicholas.
How's it going tonight, everybody?
There he goes. And to my left, he only is the biggest Zelda fan in the world. Don't believe me, he has the tattoo of the Triforce on his right arm, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only. The flying with the birds, Mr. Jeremy Burger.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Biggest Zelda fan in the world, coming at you once again.
And I'm Pete.
And I'm wondering.
What I'm wondering this week is how can I sell you an Unravel?
Nothing.
You can't.
It's coming out tomorrow.
You can't.
I'm so excited.
You can't sell me.
Yeah, I can.
You can't.
Because I sold my sister on it. Now it's the most hype game she wants to play. It looks absolutely fantastic. Have you seen the new trailer?
Yeah.
Have you watched Doctor Who without your sister?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Have you seen the new trailer?
No.
You have to watch the new trailer.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Why does it not...
It's a platformer. That's all it is. It's a platformer with some usage of binding. So like it's basically a platformer. That's all it is.
Some say...
Instead of pushing a rock, you pull it with the thread that's attached to your ass.
Some say it's like Little Big Planet.
No, it's nowhere near like Little Big Planet.
Sackboy does not approve of this.
I could never ever condone anybody relating Unravel to Little Big Planet.
Some say it's like Limbo.
No.
Okay. So then it's a rip-off of Limbo.
I have one reason why. Lego Dimensions. That's why. Friday's episode.
Lego Dimensions? What does that have to do with it?
It already has trumped Unravel. I have no interest in Unravel.
You're more interested in Lego Dimensions.
Yeah, until I get bored of that game, I'm never going to give a shit about Unravel.
I really have no interest in Unravel. I really don't.
Either.
I know there's a lot of people that are interested, and everybody's like sitting around waiting for this big debut of this game that's just a platformer. There's nothing special about it. This guy was really passionate about it, so I don't know who he blew in order to get the game out here, but he was really passionate about it, but it's not an interesting looking game.
I have Yanni. I'm like, dude, what?
It's not a very interesting game at all. It doesn't look interesting. Nothing about it seems interesting. You haven't seen the new
trailer. Let me explain to you the greatness of the new trailer. There's this little old lady just...
Stitching a yarn?
Stitching.
Okay. And
then she goes upstairs and forgets about poor old Yarny.
And what, he travels across New Jersey to get back into the house that he was on the porch of? It doesn't make any sense. He was right on the porch. Just go into the fucking house.
Goddammit.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Degeneration X.
This is the Improv Gamescast. Here on youtube.com/improvgaming. We are three friends. We come to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We bring you stuff from Mushroom Kingdom, Albion, and the past, present, and future locations featured in the Assassin's Creed.
We're bringing stuff?
Did you forget it?
No.
You forgot it.
We also
forgot it.
We also bring you Let's Plays every Tuesday and Thursday. I want to mix it up a little bit.
Fucked it up.
That is not how we do this.
That is not how we do it.
We also have live streams, a.k.a. Unravel, Game of the Year,
No.
for me,
No.
for platformer.
No.
Get used to it.
It's a terrible game. You know what the sad part is, Jeremy? Even if it's a terrible game, Pete will never admit that it's a terrible game.
Yeah.
Just like I'll never admit that Nintendo was in fact the runner-up.
Yes!
If you like that, and you like me and Nick bickering, however, we did not bicker in Metal Gear.
We did not.
That was a surprise.
It was a surprise, actually. I was very surprised because I remember you coming up with the premise of that video, and I was just like, whoa, no, I do not agree with this. And then, like, we had the conversation, and I was like, oh, no, wait, I can actually get behind some of the things he's saying.
Yes.
But allow me to retort. And then you were like, well, yeah, I can kind of understand where you're coming from. It was actually the most, like, civilized we've ever been.
It was not our destiny. What the fuck are you saying?
I think it's because we were both fans of the franchise.
Yes. And
of
we
course,
both have different opinions.
Of course, I'm a Metal Gear fan, and I got shafted on that situation.
I'll give you a shaft.
I'm not touching that. I'm going to get myself in so much trouble. Oh, God. Oh.
If you like that, hit the subscribe button and share our beautiful faces with all your friends. Now on to the show. EA dropping out of E3 this year.
Now it's 2E is what it's called.
They dropped the deuce on E3.
That's big.
Bethesda stepped in.
Very big.
Me and Nick talk a little bit about it in our Metal Gear. I also give my thoughts on a 1UP News. Check that all out on youtube.com/Improv Gaming. So what are your thoughts about
This is
EA?
one of the biggest publishers that are represented at E3.
They've been there undoubtedly for 5+ years.
Yeah. Number one, the reason why they had such a big presence, I should say, at E3 is because they've always had a big influence on the industry, right? They kind of set the mold for what was going to happen. I don't know, after last year's debacle with E3, I could understand why they dropped out. Maybe they don't want all the harassment for what they did from last year. They don't want to do that again.
When you promo a good 40 minutes on just fucking sports games.
Yeah, well, and then 20 minutes on one person that's in a sports game that you featured on the cover. It's kind of like, are you really? Like, there's no reason to ever do something like that.
And it was the thing with Pele, which really got.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The guy that was on the cover of one of the sports games.
I was on the cover. I'm sorry.
The legendary edition.
Yeah,
of FIFA or whatever.
All I'm gonna say about that is I would have used a more modern soccer player, football player, if you.
Oh, from jolly old England.
Well, even still.
Hello.
I would have gone with a more modern person because, look, Pele was big, 20 years ago?
Doesn't matter. I don't want to see a sports guy in the middle of my gaming fucking...
That's like when
in my gaming convention for 20 fucking minutes.
I went to the bathroom when he was talking. I'm like, all right, this is going to be a couple of minutes, so...
That's like when Xbox came out. It's like, oh, you can watch TV. You could do this. You could do this. Yeah, but what about the games? But no, you can watch sports. The E3 is for gamers.
It's an Electronics Entertainment Expo. E3. That's what it's for. Don't fucking come there with somebody from sports.
I understand last year, of course, me being a sports person, to show your sports games, show what's new. It's cool. But don't spend so much time on it. Be like, okay, here's a 2-minute trailer about Madden, this is what's new in Madden. It's a new trailer on NHL, this is what's new in NHL. This is what's new in FIFA, have at these.
I think what EA is doing is that...
Here's a new game, track and
field.
They
have...
Track and field.
Because they're doing the Uplay or ePlay or whatever the fuck they're calling it, which is, I don't know. Anyway, they're hosting that 2 days before the E3 event, and it's gonna be an entire room filled with video game screens for us, the gamers, to go there and play the video games. It's not for the news outlets. It's not for the press. It's for the gamers to go there and experience the game. So for a lot of the YouTubers to go there and say, yeah, I got my hands on this. Check it out. This is a good game, blah, 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 blah. The problem is nobody gives a fuck about your sports games. They're going to play the same.
Yep.
No matter, I don't care if you tweak the physics. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to do that. Every game should be better than the last one. It should feel more like... NHL. It should feel like I'm playing better... I'm playing a better football game than I played last year. I should feel like I'm playing a better basketball game than I played last year. It should feel like I'm really dunking. It should feel like I'm trying to get that 3-pointer shot. It should feel like you're passing a football around. It should feel like that. It should feel better and better every year. So nobody cares about little tweaks like that. What we care about are the AAA titles that...
Mass Effect or drama.
Mass Effect. We care about fucking... What else do they have that's important or relevant at all?
Titanfall 2.
Yes.
Oh, I don't care about that.
And... there was another one. There's Mass Effect, Titanfall, and they have a third one.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Continue talking.
That's big. Well, anyway, it's surprising, though, they're not at E3. Because of Mass Effect Andromeda and all these games.
They don't need to rely on the press anymore. There's no need to rely on Game Informer to dish out what it is that they saw on E3.
Mirror's Edge?
Mirror's Edge, there you go.
There's no reason for them to rely on those press outlets when they have YouTubers that'll do the job for free. Right? Like they're not going to go to that press release. They're not going to go. The YouTubers will go to E3, but they're not going to go or they don't need to be at E3 because that's more of a trade show. That is not a gamer community. What happened was that was a trade show that turned into this big event that people would go to experience. Okay, this is what they're bringing to the table in next year's games, or the games that are coming up from now until next year. But it was a trade show. It was for developers to go there and experience what other developers are doing, so that then they could jog each other's mental capacities, so that then you can reinvent and re-examine what it is that you're doing with your game. It's a trade show. So when the news outlets got wind of this trade show that was going on, they started jumping on the bandwagon because the gaming community started to blow up. Then they were like, oh, this is what Nintendo's doing next year. This is what Sony's doing next year. This is what Xbox or Microsoft is doing next year. And then that turned into, oh, what's EA doing? What's Bethesda doing? What's this company doing? What are all these other companies doing?
What is
and then
Konami doing?
Yeah, people started
They're doing nothing.
going into that company, started to go into that thinking, oh, we can showcase this, number one, to other people in the industry and to the gamers at the same time. But that's useless now. There's no reason for that, because how many times are you sitting there in E3 and you're going, oh, wow, Horizon Dawn, I'm definitely going to check out, versus Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm definitely going to check out, versus if that was the same trailer you saw on YouTube.
We finally got some footage from Last Guardian. Are we going to get any more? Is that the same?
Yeah, like you'll see, you can see the same thing on YouTube. People don't even think of E3. They hold it in that high regard, but really, what use is it? Because you can get the same experience. I found out about games without going to E3 or paying attention to E3 for years.
That's what I did for Gamescom.
So why would EA want to advertise through E3 when they could do it in a completely different way and reinvent the way that the industry is going? Especially since they're such a major industry player. Yeah. They could set the mold on whatever way that they want to do it.
It's interesting. It's like you keep saying, it's one of the big factors stepping down off the podium finally. It's like, now who's going to be the next big player?
See, it's interesting because now Bethesda is going to be at E3, which they had a presence last year. They're coming again. Nintendo should be.
I think
Nintendo should be at E3
they're going to do
live.
another direct, I think.
They should be.
They should be.
They should make their presence known at E3. They shouldn't do it in a Nintendo Direct.
We'll see what happens.
They will. So you have all that. So maybe E3 is smartening by trying this new form that
EA,
could work.
you mean?
EA. Could work, could fail. You know, the jury's still out for it. But
see, but the point that I'm making is Jeremy just said it, right? Jeremy just said, okay, now here's this big guy that's stepping down from the throne. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as EA is so big that they don't need the throne. They already have the kingdom.
Good point.
You know,
but you could say that about all the first parties. You could say that about Sony and Microsoft.
Everybody is sitting here and saying, oh, E3 is such an important part of gaming. But it's not. How many times have you heard about a game outside of E3?
It's just a dog and pony show.
That's all it is. It's all
well,
it is.
You have new releases. We didn't know about Horizon Zero Dawn until...
That's just an example. I found out about Assassin's Creed without looking at an E3 trailer. That was word of mouth that I got Assassin's Creed, my hands on Assassin's Creed. Gears of War, word of mouth. I didn't look at it through E3. Halo wasn't even word of mouth. I got it at Xbox, and that was the game to get with the Xbox. That wasn't even word of mouth. So all the franchises, Metal Gear Solid, we always talk about, hey, I rented that, and my cousin had it, and we played it. Nothing that I've ever experienced in gaming ever came from E3.
See, I feel the opposite with it because a little bit of E3 talk. I like it just because of the excitement, because they have new releases, and instead of just saying, obviously it's a game, we know, but just an example, The Last Guardian gets revealed, you know, and yeah, you can YouTube the trailer and say, oh, this game looks cool, but I also like it when the developers come out or somebody, creative director comes out and talks about the game and says, this is the plan, this is what we're doing, you know. And it grabs you more, you know. Obviously, it's more for the press. It's like, here's what we have to show. When I was showing Unravel to my sister, who now loves the game, just as a point of thought, I said, you know, here's the trailer. And she goes, that looks awesome. But I said, if you really want to watch something, I said, watch this guy introduce Unravel at E3. And she saw it, and she saw, like, how he was, like, telling a story. And yes, you guys give me shit that I'm so on the Unravel train.
I don't understand your whole big deal with this
story. like, it's just, I was like, yo, this story is incredible because here's this guy who has like a dream. Call me a like hopeless, like, not romantic. That would be bad, but like a guy who has a dream, who went to the woods, made this
and
game,
blew somebody in the woods,
and made this game, and had just that, like, it bringing to life and having it seen on the TV.
But what's the use of that story? If Unravel comes out based off of what you said, here's this guy that sold you a dream, and Unraveled comes out, you played, and it's the worst game you've ever played in your life. And
I will tell you it's the
But no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's the worst game you ever played in your life. Doesn't that prove that E3 is useless?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's also
E3 is no, it's like your social security number. It was never designed to carry the weight that it carries.
That's actually a really good point, because I know Nintendo doesn't go to E3, and like you said, they should, but example in the Nintendo Direct, they revealed Triforce Heroes, which everybody thought, okay, it's going to be a new story in the Zelda franchise, and it's a multiplayer game. That's literally what it is. Did I like the game? Yes. Was I disappointed? Yes. Could I have just found out online instead of watching it at E3? Yes.
So how do you feel, being that you found out about Triforce at E3, right?
Yeah.
We all found out about that
I was
together.
hyped for it. I'm like,
you were extremely hyped, but then you play the game and you're like, it was a good game, but it wasn't exactly what they said it was going to be.
It was a build-up with no payoff.
So how do you feel about E3 after this is the big event where everybody brings their big guns to, right? That's what everybody's hyping up E3 to be. It's like, oh, it's this huge event that everybody has to bring their big guns to, and here they are. They sold you a dream, and it didn't work out the way that they wanted it to work out.
I can say it's a disappointment, and I know what you're saying, but I'm actually going to take his point of view on it. I actually do prefer E3. I know, like you're saying, it's useless. You can
I understand why people like E3. I'm just saying that there is a lot of arguments, or there's a lot of internal debate, obviously, when a giant like EA drops out of E3 and says, no, we don't need you anymore. We don't need you to showcase our games. The biggest exposition of video games in the world, we're just going to pass on that. Take care. Enjoy your stuff. We're just going to go over next door and just show it to the fucking gamers, not to the press.
They could be trying something new, like you said.
But if EA doesn't see the worth of E3, what's the worth of E3?
EA could be looking at it as like a Nintendo Direct, where it's a little bit more of a...
No, they're not even going. They're not doing anything for E3.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like where the Directs are a little bit more personal. Nintendo goes one-on-one. They have a Direct. They cater to the fans. EA might be doing, yes, we have Mirror's Edge coming out. We have this. Come play it. Tell us what you think. We don't need the spotlights and everything. You want to play our games? You come here.
Try it out.
Yeah, you come here. You try it out.
We want to know what you think.
That's like PlayStation, PSX. Excuse me. PSX does that. They have the press conference, and then they said, "This is a PlayStation for gamers for you. Come play. Try VR."
How many conferences are in a year?
Very many.
What's the point of E3? If everybody already has all their own conferences, what's the point of E3?
Hype train.
Well, Microsoft really doesn't have their own. I mean, you have the big ones.
You have like 17 Nintendo Directs a year. Right? You have Paris Games Week.
Games Week.
You have PSX.
Is one. Gamescom.
And
E3. Those
PAX.
are three.
You have PAX.
You have PAX.
But PAX isn't as big,
And then
PAX
you also
is still big, dude.
And then, not to mention, you have the things that aren't just game associated, like CES, which does showcase technologies for
like
video
VR
games.
and
you have
everything.
Manifest,
So when you have video games spreading their little spinally little fingers into every aspect of everything throughout the year, what's the point of E3? E3 is what we get excited about because we've been sold that this is the place where everybody showcases their stuff.
It's where it all started.
But the past 3 years have shown that nobody is bringing their top notch to E3.
That's also because, and I use PlayStation as an example. E3 last year, Uncharted showed off their new gameplay.
And it broke.
Final Fantasy, all that stuff, and then they're like, okay. They're doing something at Paris Games Week. Gotta show something. A month later, they had to show something at PSX. They always had to. So, yes, E3 was shrinking down. It wasn't as big as it should have been or has been. because now there's all these different press conferences.
So what's the point of E3?
But still, E3 was there from the beginning. It
Doesn't matter.
I would say
Doesn't
the
matter.
main point,
E3 is a dying fad.
So you think E3 is going to go away and we're just going to have
E3 is gonna fade
PSX
out.
and Gamescom?
E3
So
is gonna
Gamescom
fade
is
out.
going to fade out too. You're going to say that each Microsoft and Sony and should just hold their own
E3
conference.
No, they don't even need to hold a conference. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that every games conference is going to fade out because there is no need in the industry to hold a conference.
I disagree.
so do I, because literally, how can I put this?
You're wrong.
I can never. I've tried to prove. I'm the only ones I've proven Nick wrong. But
I see where you're coming from.
But there's no need for it anymore. The technology can be showcased right in front of everybody's face on their computer screen.
But that's how E3 is seen now in Gamescom.
Exactly.
Unless you're the press,
and
you don't
now
go
the
there.
people that run the industry, the publishers, are starting to realize we don't need E3. We don't need Paris Games Week. We don't need Gamescom. We can show them directly what we're doing.
That's what Nintendo Direct.
No,
kind of
Nintendo
is.
doesn't throw their stuff on YouTube.
Well, yes, they do. The Nintendo
Eventually.
Direct does go
Eventually.
on YouTube.
But they host the Nintendo Direct as on like Nintendo's website.
yeah, on the
Yeah,
website.
it's
and
not-
the console.
EA could do it for free on YouTube. They don't even have to pay server rights. They don't have to pay for any web page. They don't have to pay for any of that. They just YouTube EA channel. PlayStation could do the same thing. There's very minimal investment in just putting the stuff that you've done on YouTube instead of showcasing it on a stage with people that you've paid to host it, with news outlets that you've paid to be there, with booths that you've paid thousands of dollars for, so that then people can come play your games when it doesn't even matter because they are all still talking about it and all these reviewers are still playing the games outside of E3.
I think. Do you have any final thoughts on it?
Well, I have a question for you, Nick. You're saying that like things like E3 are like a dying form. Are you saying like Comic-Con's gonna become a dying form?
Comic-Con is
That-
completely different. Comic-Con is not showcasing new technology in comic
All
books,
the new comics, all the new.
but it's not showcasing new technology. It's not saying this is what we're pushing the boundaries with. E3 was designed and was the purpose of E3 was to push the boundary of what gaming is. And the last 3 years have proven to me that nobody is pushing the boundary of what gaming is. The HoloLens and the VR was the last big break, and even that was met very minimal resistance or met minimal appraisal compared to Xbox, Microsoft first announcing that they're coming out with a console. That was a huge splash in the wave compared to, hey, you know that thing that you've wanted for 20 years? We're doing it. 20 years people have been waiting for this, right? You had Virtual Boy.
yeah, which completely bombed out.
But 20 years people have been waiting for this, and now they said, hey, you know that thing like the Jetsons flying fucking car? We're doing this. And people were like, oh, yeah, well, you know,
yeah,
I guess that might be cool. So is that really the outlet for it now? Is E3 the expo that was supposed to showcase the pushing and next gen technologies that are going to push gaming to the next level and electronic entertainment to the next level? If it's not doing its job, what's the point of it?
I don't know what
See,
that-
I argue because it is doing its job. I feel. Has it gone down the last couple of years? Yes, because of what I gave you examples of, Gamescom and all these conferences. But I still think, as a whole, to have a press conference, to build that excitement, because that's what everybody looks forward to. Because it's when all these companies and all these PlayStation, Xbox, and all of them say, here's what we have, this is everything, you know, this is the developers talking to you, this is them selling the game to you. Yes, you can play it like EA is doing across the street and have that one-on-one with the fans. But to have it as a big medium and be like, this is when you can play it. This is when this is happening. This is our story.
How did you find out Hideo Kojima was going with Sony?
It was on Sony's webpage.
That's big news. That's E3 news.
Yeah,
That's
but
E3 worthy news, right? I mean, according to you
So
guys.
But
so
they're
is
not gonna hold a
Fallout 4.
fucking con just to announce
so
that.
so
no
is
way.
Fallout
But
4.
I'm saying, if they held off on that information and let it slide until the end of the year or until E3 came out and they were like, oh, by the way, guess who got fucking Hideo Kojima? And boom, dropped the mic. That's fucking big. But they didn't use E3 for that.
Because you know what they're going to use E3 for? Is when they're going to have him come on stage with somebody, a developer, and say, this is what we're planning.
We already know what he's planning. We know. We know that he's shopping for technology. He's looking at all the cutting-edge technology to see what he can incorporate into his video games. We already know what he's doing, and we don't need E3 for it. This is a big news story of 2015, 2016. What is Hideo Kojima doing? And nobody is waiting for E3.
Do you think that he would have shown up on PSX if he wasn't contractually obligated by Konami? If he wasn't, he was not allowed to go to the Gaming Awards. He was banned from Konami. Konami still had another 2 weeks. You don't think that PSX the next day, they would have loved to have him come out and been like, yo, my contract is up. I'm coming to Sony.
I think it would have been nice, but...
They would have definitely done that.
Yeah, but they didn't. They didn't need to. That's the point that I'm trying to drive. They did not need it.
They couldn't do it because of the contract he was under.
They could have waited until E3. Not only do we have Hideo Kojima, but we also have the fucking title of the game and what preparations he's making. And we'll give you an inside look onto the new Kojima Productions.
You don't think that's going to leak if they tried to keep it under wraps until E3? You think was the hottest story of 2015? You don't think if they see Kojima walking into a Sony thing?
You think that an entire team that was banished by Konami would trust anybody with the information that they were working on?
No, I'm not saying that.
That's
just
an entire team.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they would go into Sony studios and somebody would be like, "Why is he doing?"
No.
We're back to arguing. What a surprise!
No, I just don't think. I don't think E3 number one wasn't designed for what it is today, because it wasn't. It was designed as a trade exposition, which is what like the Cloud Expo is, which is what it's a trade show. That's all it is. And if you guys don't know what a trade show is, I can't convince you that it's not meant for the public. It's meant for internal people that are in the trade. It's like going to a blacksmith's fucking trade show and going, "Oh, I don't understand anything that's going on here." Well, do you metal work? No, you don't.
I don't think you do.
So then you don't fucking know why it is that they're doing this. It's a trade show. It's meant to be a trade show. It's not meant to showcase to the public what's going on. It's meant to showcase to other developers what's going on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but now it's news. Now the press is there more than other developers because the other developers aren't sitting in the audience. They're on the stage. They're supposed to be sitting in the audience.
It's always been a press thing, but leave it at that. We're done discussing. We're going to go crazy.
My ass hurts.
Let us know in the comments. If I've ever been curious to see a reaction to a video, it's this goddamn video. I want to know.
Let's hear it, fans.
Do you think that the press conference matters now, or what have you? Please, just for my sake, let us know in the comments. I can't wait to know. Also, you can check out a Let's Play coming up tomorrow for the beginning of Life is Strange. I can't wait to try and show you all how great that game is.
But I thought Unravel was coming tomorrow.
Oh, Unravel is coming tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming Unravel for like 45 goddamn days. No, Thursday will be a Let's Play of Unravel. But
no, we don't want that game.
No, well, you're going to get that game. Thank you guys for watching. As always, you can follow us on the social media at Improv_gaming, both on Instagram and Twitter.
I think I did.
You thought I was going to fuck that up. I know you did. We're also on Facebook at Improv Gaming.
Improv
That's your meme
underscore gaming on both.
But also check us out Wednesday for the question is, can with all these new LEGO games coming out, can they survive with Dimensions already being out and a sequel planned for LEGO Dimensions?
Yay.
Thank you guys for watching. These guys are assholes. We'll see you next time.
I'm an asshole. I'm on your side, dude.
Yeah, what? 2 against 1. And
what if he said he's on your side?
I said 2 against 1.
Yeah, and you're still fucking losing.
Twitter, Instagram, Improv_gaming, Facebook, space between the 2 words, Improv Gaming. Follow us on Twitch at IPGJBird, Improv Cap, Improv Cot with a K, both with Ks. Have a great day. We'll see you Wednesday. Game on.
What the fuck is your... No.
You really... Oh, I was getting mad at you, bro.
There's no reason for E3.